Come to and born.
So we're living in an economic crash and people just accept it and they're happy to just let it happen and just ride it out. But what they don't understand is that we live in a society where if women don't jump under the king's horse, then they'd never get the vote. And if black people don't, stand up and take their lynchings and motivate attacks like the 16th Street Baptist Church, and if Martin Luther King types don't get shot in the neck, then they'd never be, and we'd still be fixed with the same bigotry we now view as so far back in the past. We live in a society where the very worst political ideas are the default if they suit the most powerful. And until the victims of the system realise they're being fucked over and unite to do something about it, nothing happens. And then even when they do start to unite, things always get a lot worse before they get any better. And you have to incite the worst in society before people can see what an embarrassment that line of view is and start to step in the other direction. We live in a society where you have to jump under a horse to be recognised as equal. A society where you have to incite the hatred of the Ku Klux Klan, make racism a serial killer before we make it illegal. We live in a society where unless people say, hey, I have that right, they have no chance of ever getting that right. So that's why I welcome an economic crash, because if every 10 years or so we just let greedy bankers inflate to create wealth for themselves and devalue our own, and we just take it as part of the system, then we're no different to black people who agree to sit at the back of the bus. See, political nonchalance has always been there. A lot of women didn't fight for their right to vote or didn't even care until that train was rolling. And many black people were just accepting of their third-class status. Because we're taught that things are just fixed the way they are, and the train has reached its destination. We're civilised, we've got nowhere else to go. Everyone's equal and everything's fine. But I welcome an economic crash, not because I want people to suffer, but because I want them to realise, I want them to stand up and say, hey, I have that right. I want them to realise that not everyone is equal, because the people at the top of the pyramid propagate a system where the people at the bottom of the pyramid are kept with the wealthy man's boot on their head. So I say bring on the crash, because it's only when you start standing up to inequality that equality comes about. And you're only as equal as you allow them to recognise you as. And the only way for things to get better is when they get so bad that people realise they're being fucked in the arse.